This is the Motovation Podcast, hosted by Laurie Joy Kingwell and Krissy Vann. That's me. And we're taking you on a little off-roading.
And every single week, we're going to be joined by our dope friend, Richelle from True Grit Moto.
Woo! Hey, I floss.
And every week, we are going to ask each other stupid questions, and we're going to answer them. And why, you may ask? Because we can. All right, this is your Motovation
Off-road edition.
So, animals. Okay, I'm going to get you to guess. Let's play a game. And you, if you're listening in your car, wherever you're listening, you can guess too. This is involvement for all. How old do you think the world's oldest dog that's ever lived until?
Do we get a hint of breed? I don't know
Yeah,
why. I think
you know
that
what?
matters.
One Australian
I bet he was a husky.
No.
God damn it.
That's
I
one
bet it was
Australian. Okay.
Everybody
That's-
shut up.
She's allowed, but you can't cheat. She cheated hard.
You guys talk
One
before this.
Australian. Okay, son of a goddamn.
Oh my God. Come on, Laurie, spit it out. Crepes.
Crikey.
One Australian cattle dog, Bluey, survived to the ripe old age of.
I like
In
how they
dog
put
years or-
survive.
Oh,
Good question.
what was that on both your behalfs?
Okay. In dog years or in human years? Are we talking the 7+ dog years?
No. Like, you know how a dog usually lives 10 to 15 years on average?
Yeah.
This dog lived
Well,
until...
I did meet a husky the other day that was 24. So
Stop
that's
it.
why I'm not even kidding. Outside the McDonald's over by
That's
the Volvo, it was unreal. Burnaby.
incredible.
They go there every day. Apparently, go see him. He's cute. He's doesn't smell very good.
I better go soon.
Yeah,
That dog doesn't
wanna
have
say
long legs.
I want to say 30. I want to say 35.
Okay.
I'm gonna say
Krissy?
the ripe age of 42.
Jesus Louises. How, on what world?
Laurie's like 17, and I didn't realize there was a 20-year-old wandering around.
Yeah, I was
McDonald's in
like, it
Burnaby.
looks like the record has been broken in this conversation alone. None of my things are facts, apparently. So this dog, Bluey, was 29 and a half years old.
Oh, my
It
So
had
this
less
husky-
impact after our guesses, I feel.
Yeah, well, yours really created a whole new ripple effect.
42.
98 years old. Loved it. Loved it. I'm hoping Marley gets up there. That'd be nice.
He will.
That'd be nice.
I have faith. I have faith.
Thank you. I'm going to get him to hang
I
out with
hate
this
to
old
disappoint
husky.
you, but as the official fact checker, I guess
Oh.
I could ask the same question. How old do you think the oldest dog was? Because it ain't Bluey.
Oh, Laurie. Oh,
I don't
Lord,
think your facts are
so
correct. I think my
Really?
random website that has no credibility whatsoever is actually the right answer. To
You-
be clear.
My question
What?
is, when we decided to do these questions, the first
Yeah.
thing you thought of was, you were like, what does everybody want to know about right now? I know.
I looked up
The
weird facts.
oldest dog in the world.
Literally
Everybody's
weird,
gonna love
weird
this.
facts.
Oh
I
my-
scrolled through. You know what else is one? A woman.
Bobby showed up. Who's
Yes.
Bluey?
How old's Bobby?
Bobby
Bobby's
made it to 30
31.
years and 267 days.
He
Maybe-
died last year.
Yeah.
Maybe mine isn't outdated. I'll have to look at the website and see when this article was.
Bobby got a Guinness World Record.
Bobby, good for Bobby. Okay, well then let's still do the cat one, even if it's likely wrong as well. Okay, ready? Same thing. World's cream puff the cat was the oldest cat to ever live. Factually speaking.
42.
Okay, what's your guess, Richelle?
38.
You looked it up, you piece of. I watched you. Your camera's on. You're correct. Ding, ding, ding. Which
Okay,
also means
that
that's
legit.
correct.
That is correct.
So Bluey must, because this
Google.
isn't the same thing. So this is Bluey must have been the original, and then he got bypassed. But no one has passed Cream Puff.
Well,
which is also the name of when you blow cocaine up someone's butt.
Truth. Full
Right.
circle.
Full circle. Only problem is it's going to be on 2 separate episodes, so it's going to get real confusing.
Cream puff?
True. You're just going to have to listen to it all. If you want to know about cocaine blowing up your butt, just keep on listening.
Go to the past off-road. No, you got to go back. Yeah. Previous off-road. Get excited.
Wow.
So does that surprise you that those ages clearly, Krissy, you were really up there. You had hope.
I did. I believed in Bluey. I was like,
Bluey
made it
lived
to
a life.
4 decades.
That's crazy. Good for him. I wonder what he was eating. I got to get on that diet.
I do love cream puffs. Anyways, what do you have for us, Richelle?
Oh my gosh, scared me. I saved a note.
Oh. I love an air of mystery.
Okay. I had something. But I didn't quite write it down. So I do have one other thing. What are your guys' thoughts on the TikTok lawsuit and information that's going on through them dropping it in India? Is it India that they're trying to ban it? They're banning TikTok around for like controversy and
I don't know that one. I know in the States they signed legislation that it would be banned like next year.
Yeah, that they're banning it. Yeah, I looked up a thing on the internet about the legalities around TikTok and what's going on with that right now.
Why are they banning it?
There's
the ties to China, ByteDance, that whole shenanigan.
Yeah,
because I knew, I'm aware of that. There's a TikTok version that the children in China have, and a TikTok version, and essentially it's created to make the Western eyes and the rest of the world very, very stupid, which they're doing a great job of. And then the TikTok is about like learning and so forth in China is the last I heard about it. But there's a lot of apps that make you stupider. So why this one being the one?
Security concerns. Because
there it is.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it's a platform that has a lot of Gen Z that are frustrated and ready to make change well beyond we are. That's connecting them. They have been able to influence the voter base at a tremendous rate.
Oh, okay.
Is it national security, or are they more afraid of people being connected and like actually starting movements that are for the, Richelle,
that's what I think.
Similar mindset.
I didn't want to say it, because I don't want to be like the person that's like,
guess it's me.
But
it is a communist country, guys. Like China is a communist country that is working very hard over decades and decades to have a lot of control. I'm not like, I got nothing against China in regards to like, but it's just is like, so I'm like, I do get that part, but I do hear what you're saying too. So you're like, oh, there's
a lot to be said. And I just think that what's the truth behind it? I don't know. I'm not sold on what they're selling.
I feel like you should speak with more passion. If you got more passionate about Drake than you did just now about like freedom of speech and national security.
Well, I'm not
scared
concerning. Of Drake, but let me tell you something. I am scared.
Get some passion behind.
I just think the fact that American politicians on like both sides, like bipartisan sides, rarely agree on things, but they all seem to agree with banning this platform that has a lot of coming together to, again, that aren't okay with the state of the current society. Yeah. I understand that there's China's ownership, but in any time that I've spent on TikTok, I'm generally not being fed information in my algorithm that is making me lean one way or another. Do you know what I mean? Like it's people in my community sharing real shit.
Yeah.
So it kind of feels like if it was banned for me, I would be more disconnected from my community.
Yeah. And they're going through places where freedom of speech, they're like they're not considering it, but they have to consider it. So there's like this huge thing where they're like trying to bypass people. So that way freedom of speech isn't involved in TikTok being banned from what I've read. And I think that is another, whether that's conspiracy or not, I think that's an interesting fact.
It's just interesting. That's where all the politicians agree. That's all.
Yeah.
This topic was a lot less funny.
Well, don't worry. My next one has cunt in
it. There was little to no bum blowing. But hey, maybe there was.
I was missing when we got to talk about genitalia or something, you know? But I'm for it. I'm in.
We got serious.
It got so serious so fast. Love it.
Mine isn't necessarily funny, but timely.
Okay.
Doja Cat
yes.
scolds parents who bring kids to her shows and says, I'm rapping about cunts. Now, keep in mind, she has a song called Wet Vagina.
Right.
Song.
So what do y'all think of a family outing to the Doja Cat concert?
Wait a second, though. Is she properly like scolding them at the concert, or is she scolding them in like...
Yeah. Publicly at the concert. Like,
and what is she
doing? Scolding parents for bringing their kids to her concerts.
Oh boy, come on, Doja. It's the 21st century.
Well, that said, though, I do think that there's like, it's getting, well, I don't even say I think it is getting, young girls are getting more and more and more sexualized, younger and younger and younger, and being exposed to sexualization kind of thing in the regards of like what they're hearing and seeing. And so if you're going to very much an adult style concert, like I remember being quite horrified at the Lady Gaga concert. I absolutely love her. She's incredible. And the amount of youngs that were there, and it was a very, 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 very sexual show. It was a very adult show. And I was like, kids should not be here. What is happening? And I understand that like, I didn't know that that's what the show necessarily was going to be about. But if you've got songs that are about wet pussy and shit like that.
Right.
Yeah. I don't think that's probably where you should be if they have listened to their music or they've got their music somehow and this and that, but like to actively be taking your kid there to where like the lyrics are clearly for adults.
It was tweets. So it wasn't directly at the concert, but it said, the first tweet was, I don't know what the fuck you think this is, but I don't make music for children. So leave your kids at home, motherfucker. And then a follow-up tweet was, it wasn't cunts. I'm rapping about cum. Why are you bringing your offspring to my show?
Definitely. And then yes.
Wrapped her post by saying, rapping about eating dick and pissing on his V cunt. Leave your mistake at home. Oh, Laurie's face.
Leave your mistake at home. Okay, I don't know about that. I got a little hard laugh. Freedom of speech, man. But yeah. Like I don't know her music enough to know what she. But yeah, she just said what she raps about. Yeah, do not take your kids, man.
I think it's wrong. I think they should be. If anything, that kid's already heard that song. And that kid's
But your parent, that's like saying my kids are going to drink anyways. Let them drink in the house.
Let them drink with me. That's my way of living. If I am at that age and I'm like, well, you're already listening to the music. Why don't you love the song? Why don't I join you instead of them hiding it? Because sometimes, like, I don't know. I think that there's a world in which you can keep innocence. But it's not the 40s anymore. I think it would be a very simple conversation. It would be like, you already know, like, why is the kid going there? Not because the parent is like, hey, what are you doing tonight? I know you got school tomorrow. Let's go listen to wet pussy music. That kid has probably already been like, Ma, I love this song. It's the top hit on TikTok or whatever. So the mom's thinking, well, you know what? Fuck it. You love that song? Okay, let's go. And then we could talk about it after. Well, the alternative is that the kid is just listening to this music and asking their friends and getting all the wrong information.
Oh, no. I'm all about having the conversations and being an open dialogue. Absolutely. That's a whole big thing. But you participating in going those extra mile and extra steps to take them into environments where they're in adult environments with a bunch of adults, those things where like, you're not going to keep them in a bubble by any means. You're going to have open and honest conversations, but taking them actively into those arenas, quite literally and figuratively, that are highly sexualized and focused at an adult dialogue isn't a thing that is the safest thing for the brain to even be exposed to. It's not saying don't listen to it and avoid it at all costs. By all means, like if they're interested in it, but participating in those extra steps and taking them into those extra environments highly then gives that much more of like, yeah, this is the arena you should be in. They shouldn't.
Okay. So if I was to say, if that song was being played in like a coffee shop and all it was saying was like come pussy, all this stuff, compared to them being at the concert, your concern is that everybody there is being rowdy, horny, and ignorant.
No, they're not being rowdy, horny, and ignorant. I don't think there's anything ignorant about that environment at all. But the other thing is, this is a very adult environment that's going to listen to an artist that's music is directed at adults. She said so herself, and it is the type of sexualized that the content is for an adult brain and an adult sexual exploration, if you will, right? There's like different developmental explorations.
Oh,
and
I
it's one of those
remember sneaking into an HMV and getting the explicit lyrics version of Eminem and then hiding it to bring it into my home so that I could listen to it on my CD player.
My thought is it's happening whether you like it or not. There's girls
but you don't have to put it
perfume, putting on heels, wearing makeup at 2, 3, 4. It's already happening. And by taking them to a concert, you think that's going to be the difference?
So what it does, think of it like those escalators at the airport where they help you walk faster and they're like, zing. So you're moving faster within it. And so, because there's so many pressures you're exposed to, it's happening anyways, right? You as an adult are the safe kind of like anchor within that to being like, hey, this is also important to like critically think about, ask yourself if you're ready for, and all those different things. The adult's the safe space that helps slow things down, not move things faster because they're already exposed to it. We want to slow that down. It's already happening way too fast for these young girls. And we're paying a big price with like our mental health with young girls. It's so overly sexualized, especially online. So if our adults are also then putting us in those environments, plays a big role. And you know what? When the kid's when a kid is a proper adult, that's like when an adult comes in and is like, I've been waiting for this. Here's those tickets. Let's rock. I'd be excited as an adult to like that.
Girl, I already went to Sophia's mom like fucking 10 years ago.
Oh, it makes me think of what's it?
Like
Mean Girls?
Mean Girls.
And she's like, girls, it's a party. And that's like, let's like
There's no liquor. There's no liquor in this, but do you want some?
Yeah.
Where the chihuahua's like chewing on her nipple. I'll never forget that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You know, I see where you're coming from. I just think that there's two different parents. And if my kid came up to me and was like, me and all my friends are listening to this, I really want to go, I would be like, okay, well, let's just talk about what that means. And then I would take them. I'd be like, okay, we're going. And if it gets wild, we're leaving. But if it's everybody having fun, and
if there starts being some sex right here.
Yeah, I think if Doja Cat wants to release that music, she needs to be prepared that there's going to be everybody at her concert.
I'll put it that way. As someone that studies development, emotional development, mental health development, all those different things in the child's brain and in their psyche and even in their nervous system, I would not advise it. It would be like, I wouldn't necessarily like judge people on it because everyone's got their thing, but I would never, like, if they were like, yeah, I'd be like, I would not. No, but I also would not advise being that parent that like shames a kid or is like, you can't listen to that. And like, da. Like that also makes people super like confused about sexuality and all those different things. But that's the.
But you can sit down as a family for the Yeezy porn premiere, right?
Of course. That should, of course.
Perfect. Just making sure.
Just making sure that we're all going to sit down together for the IPO of this.
Yeah, of course. I didn't even think that was up for debate.
I love that ended up like wonderfully passionate. Good debate.
It was so
children. Did you ever watch The Simpsons?
Think of the children.
Also, do you remember at night when I just saw this meme? This is completely unrelated, but it was all these cuts of those things that would come on at 10 at night being like, it's 10 o'clock or no, it's 11 o'clock. You know where your children are? And it was like cuts of all of that. And I'm like, you take a step back and realize they had to, it was a public service announcement.
Right.
Like, because we were all just running wily on the streets. Right. We were out and then they had to remind parents. You think of the helicopter parent now compared to our parents. They were like, do you know where your children are? It's dark. And our parents were like, right, go yell out the door.
I'm going to send it to you, Laurie, because it'd be almost good to share on Joy in the Home as well. Because it was just a cut of all the celebrities that did it. And you're just like, man, So
that's funny.
Such a trip.
But it was. Oh, those were fun times.
They were.
Kidnappings.
Who needed a clock or a watch? You'd know.
Kidnappings. Kidnappings.
Some lovely documentaries because of those days.
Yes, right.
Oh, God.
It was an easier time for the kidnappers.
Much for the kidnappers.
I mean, considering Richelle told a whole story about getting into a car with a lot of instructions from the person.
I didn't say no.
Prime
I
suspect.
didn't hesitate. I didn't hesitate.
Do you know that it's never been a safer time to be a human, and we've never been more scared to be alive all in one? Like, as a human being, in at least in the westernized, as far as I know, is like it's never been more safe to be a human.
I don't know. Our drinking water scares me depending on where I travel, even in Canada.
I feel sick right now talking about it.
We actually, well, we probably mentioned this, but we had a huge the sewage went into our community's water, and a bunch of people died. Yeah, a bunch of people died. A bunch of people, cryptosporidium, it was called. A lot of us got it, like most of the town. I got it really, really bad. And they didn't know at the time. There was a bunch of lawsuits afterwards, but the town knew about it.
So Aaron Brockovich.
Yeah. We had to boil our water for like, I don't even know, 6 months or something like that. It was a long time. Still to this day, it's pretty much like, yeah, don't fuck with the water. But it was like all over the news. It was like,
that's crazy.
Yeah, it was a big thing. I was 16 at the time when it happened. It was crazy. But like people got so violently sick. You lost so much weight because you couldn't eat anything, and you had these crazy cramps, and we're throwing it out. It was
no.
Crazy. Yeah.
Explains a lot.
Explains
I
a
would
lot.
have survived because I don't drink water.
There you go.
At all?
Well, I try to, but it's hard.
How
it's hard
how
on
many
me.
glasses a day would you say?
Not one.
How many a week?
Oh, I don't even know. Depends on
Richelle,
if it's a really
you
hot
love
day.
Plants. You love plants.
I
you are
love
a plant.
plants.
You
My
are
whole
a plant.
house is plants.
You are a plant.
I don't know what it is. I never take time to do it. I am trying to make more efforts. I bought bottles of water that are like recyclable for my truck, like everywhere. So I've got like all these like, things I can fill up with water.
Right.
Oh, she's going to get a drink of water. Here we go.
Oh.
We lost her.
She's gone. She gone.
Oh.
It was like all this talk.
And that's what inspired her. Like, that's where she got passionate.
That's it. Like, see, this is why you guys look as good as you do. And I look like a dried up raisin from that raisin jazz thing.
Sorry. Your skin is like perfection. So shut your
and you're
goblet.
also the only professional model in this conversation.
Yeah.
Well,
Walmart.
Let's not say it again. I was in a Walmart commercial.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, you were. Black, brown chinos and all.
Ooh. I was the Ellen DeGeneres of that Walmart commercial. If you ever did see it. Yeah. I got paid. It's good. It was good. Lordy.
Get a boner every time I look at a pair of Dockers now.
You be
100%. Honestly.
One size too big never looked so good.
Whose turn is it?
I don't have anything else left.
Yeah, I got one more.
Okay, good.
It's about animals again. I apologize.
All right, let's go have another fact, not a fact.
Farts and animals. Apparently that's my jam. Okay. This one is highly debatable, I feel like.
Oh my God.
Animals can experience time differently from humans. To smaller animals, the world around them moves more slowly compared to humans. Salamanders, lizards, for example, experience time slower than cats and dogs. This is because the perception of time depends on how quickly the brain can process incoming information. Do you think...
Did you?
You know what's?
Oh
nope! I just had a thought. I didn't read this all the way through, and at the very end, when I was like, "Do you think?" and then I was like, "Nope." The question actually, or the thing actually answered it, because it says it's the perception of time because the brains are smaller. And I was like, how is that even possible? But then when I read all the way through, because the brains are smaller.
Well,
but also, how do they know?
Yeah, I guess, I don't know, some sort of scientific something. But I just did an article in my work life because it was
scientific
something. But it was like our human brain actually. So, if like you're doing a plank and holding a plank, and so many times you're like, oh my God, it's the longest 60 seconds of my life.
Yes.
But our brains actually do perceive exercise often that it's longer than it actually is. And they just did a whole study about that because obviously it's to do with Einstein's theory and blah, blah, blah. Anyways, I'm like, I guess if humans' perception can change, I mean, time's just a construct.
Time is just
a construct.
What does it all mean, Basil?
Also, before we go, I forgot that was not the one that I had landed on. I have a way better one. You ready?
Oh,
because I was like, there was one that I was going to say.
Stop it with these teasers, Laurie. Give us the goods.
This one is a whole different animal. No pun intended. This also involves animals. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
In the 18th century, a woman actually convinced doctors she was giving birth to rabbits. Mary Toft reportedly gave birth to up to 9 of the fluffy creatures at a time. Doctors were convinced she was telling the truth until they found pieces of corn inside the stomachs of one of the rabbits, proving it hadn't developed inside Toft's womb. It just turned out that she had been manually inserting the rabbits to make the delivery look realistic as possible.
She was born in Surrey. Guildford.
Oh my God, yeah. Local
Surrey, BC. Surrey, BC.
Surrey, BC. Local woman.
Stop
shoving bunnies up her cooter. Classic.
Pretending to give birth. And the doctors were like, adds up.
Oh, I've been there. I've been to that park actually.
Oh. I mean, stranger things have happened.
What the fuck?
Have they?
That
feels like one of the top stranger moments.
Well,
I lived in Surrey for a very long time, and this checks out.
I can't believe that it was in Surrey of all places. Well,
that's crazy. Did you know that she was from Surrey?
No, that's the weirdest part.
What are the flipping odds? Wow.
Wasn't like I was like strange things.
Like fucking like rabbits.
Oh, you guys. Well, I was just about to say, have you ever seen rabbits have sex? And then I was like, no, why would you? Or maybe you have.
No.
Yes.
I once
outside of
a horse artificially inseminate situation. No. Yeah. It actually, I realized it was definitely a Me Too moment to a degree. I wasn't the person inseminated by the horse, just to be clear.
I was like, okay,
this is good information.
This is a safe space.
When I interned in New Zealand, there was a show called Rob's Country, and he'd always go down to the farm, and he's like, today you're going to come on a shoot with me, with nothing prefaced of what I was going to experience. And I was 21. And yeah, I basically was brought there to see my reaction of a horse fucking something to inseminate. Yeah.
Oh, that is a Me Too. That's a for sure Me Too thing of like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah. So that one, way to unlock a gross memory. Way to go, Laurie.
I hope you have dreams tonight.
I also just want to set the facts straight that it was actually England, Guildford, Surrey.
Oh, okay. So, that's what I was wondering. I was like, is this Surrey, BC? Because I feel like 18th century Canada wasn't even no white people were here in Canada.
They were in Guildford Mall. It was fine.
We hadn't come in like horrible humans and colonized.
Of carrots.
Power of suggestion. I'm like,
again, listeners are like, so stupid. You're so idiots. Stupid. All 3 of them was like, Surrey, BC, you say? 18th century? Surrey, BC. I wonder if the dinosaur was there around that time too.
Oh my God, probably.
Probably.
What do you get when you have a brunette, a blonde, and a ginger? Not Charlie's Angels. Not here. Not today.
Not today. Not here. Not today.
You just went off-roading with the Motovation Podcast, hosted by Laurie Joy Kingwell and myself, Krissy Vann.
And of course, a special thank you to Richelle from True Grit Moto.
Whoop, boss it.
Never miss an episode by hitting like or subscribe. Connect with us on Instagram at Motovation Podcast and visit our website at themotovation.com. And in the meantime, full tanks, full throttle.
I think this is good though. It's like healthy, you know, like people will be like, oh my God, I don't floss.
It must be so hard not to laugh to get through this intro.